Universe 2 is now on the move as fighters aim to eliminate Goku after being weakened from his battle against Kefla and only having to find the androids making the save, as we now find ourselves engaged in battle as Rosie takes on Android 17 while Rebrand battles against Android 18, but something seems to strike our heroes as Rebrand reveals that just like many other fighters at this tournament, she is not in her final form. What is going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome to my Dragon Ball Super episode 117 review entitled Showdown of Love Androids vs Universe 2, leading into next week's exciting episode of Dragon Ball Super episode 118, in which of course at long last we get to bear witness to another universe having to be destroyed following the eradication of course Universe 10 and Universe number 9. But the $1,000,000 question is, which universe is it going to be? And again, if you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to go ahead and punch that subscribe button alongside enabling all notifications on this channel, guys. That way you guys can be notified whenever brand new Dragon Ball Super spoilers are posted onto this channel in connections to discussions, leaks, spoilers, news, and reviews. Hashtag Dragon Ball Squad, as once again we've reached another point during this tournament in having Rebrand be involved, which I of course had absolutely no viewing pleasure in seeing Rebrand engaging herself against anybody during this tournament. But nonetheless, we kick off Dragon Ball Super episode 117 exactly where we left off, with Goku fumbling around due to him being so tired. And what I truly enjoyed about the beginning is seeing how Vegeta and Gohan and Piccolo, everybody recognized that Goku was in trouble, given the idea that now he is on possibly his last given lifeline here, having to hang on by a thread. We see how Goku collapses, he's on his knees, and Gohan and Piccolo, they're on the move, and as they're trying to make their way towards him, we see how the Universe 6 Namekians jump in and preventing that from happening. So I truly enjoy how they've made use of the Universe 6 Namekians so far, in the idea that we understand that they're not going to be the top players of Universe 6, but they're being made useful in the idea of fighting both Gohan and Piccolo. So they're preoccupied once again, and we get to see how Vegeta is in combat against the Universe 3 policeman. And what I found really interesting in the idea that we knew that Vegeta was going to attempt Ultra Instinct, and he wasn't obviously going to gain that kind of power, but he drops his hands in attempts of taking enough damage and learning Ultra Instinct. So Vegeta attempts Ultra Instinct. We see how he's trying to, gain that kind of power, but, to no avail, obviously. So for anyone out there who thought that Vegeta was going to achieve Ultra Instinct in this episode, you were wrong, because in the spoilers it said how Vegeta was merely interested in learning about Ultra Instinct and gaining its powers, but never actually fully being able to obtain Ultra Instinct as a whole. And while this is happening, we get to see a very subtle moment between Android 18 and 17, as 18 wants to help Goku, but 17 actually fixes her leg, because we saw how a few episodes ago Android 18 was injured. And I think the significance of this injury is really stupid, because it just looks like a sprained ankle. It just looks like a little bruise, but nonetheless 17 does help her in the idea that he's gotten good at what he's doing in protecting his family back on Earth. So obviously it's her sister, so he's helping her out, which I really did enjoy. And 18's leg should be good for now, but 17 does say not to overdo it, because she could end up actually being vulnerable and getting injured even more, to the point where she might get wrung out. So we get to see how back with Goku, he's getting pushed around by the Universe 2 fighters, Rebrand, Rosie, Zarbuto, and they unleash these attacks on Goku in attempts to wringing him out, in which to Goku's surprise, Android 17 and 18 make the save in helping him. So if anything, I will say Android 17 and 18 have helped Goku a lot during this tournament, involving the Pride Troopers, involving several different situations where Goku was in a very awkward position in either not being able to fight back or simply dropping his guard. And what I really enjoyed about this was how Rosie went off to handle Android 17, and Rebrand was, attacking 18, and 18 did very well against Rosie. But then we see how Goku stands up as Zarbuto and everyone else begins to challenge him, because keep in mind we have Goku versus 3 of the Universe 2 fighters, and they tell him how he's in no fighting shape whatsoever, in the idea idea that they're trying to show him sympathy and saying that there's no point in fighting, but Rebrand actually, while fighting, she's annoyed that the androids are always interfering, and Rebrand says that the power of love will trump both the androids, and the idea that while Android 17 and 18 are fighting Rebrand and Rosie, Goku is still trying to balance himself out based on, you know, the outcome of what happened with Kefla. So he's obviously not doing well, and I do think that as a whole, they did good with this concept, but judging based on how he used Kaioken multiple times in the Tournament of Power, Ultra Instinct twice, I still feel like Goku shouldn't even get up to begin with. Even though he was stumbling and he was trying to refocus, in the end, I think Goku shouldn't have even done anything to begin with. And I personally felt like the Vegeta Ultra Instinct moment was kind of put to waste, because all we saw Vegeta was get punched in the face multiple times, whereas his own character, he could have done more in protecting Goku and doing something for Goku. So what I really did enjoy actually was how the Omni Kings, for the first time ever, were kind of play fighting, which was kind of cool to see how they were just sitting there and they were just like, you know, exchanging punches, even though it was friendly competition, and they were only doing it based on what they saw happening in the ring. And 18 and Rebrand. So 18 kicks Rebrand in the face. It literally just caves her face in, which I think ultimately should have been the be-all, end-all for that. But Rebrand goes on to say how Android 18 should stop running around and how 18 is mocking her. And what I really didn't get was how Rebrand noticed Kuririn's head, and it was so shiny and reflective. And the idea that, you know, it was a moment to where 18, I think, in my opinion, should have just gotten the job done. I understand that they're trying to make Universe 2 seem believable in the idea that they have a chance in winning, but Rebrand screaming at 18, I think, didn't do me any justice at all, even though they were, you know, pretty much yelling and screaming about love and how 18, she was prepared for the inevitable, as after she got really mad at 18, Rebrand was on the offensive. And again, if it wasn't for Android 17 making the save towards helping Android 18 after she fell down with her ankle, she would have been in total trouble. So props to Android 17. I want to see more of 17. I felt as if while he was fighting Rebrand, that should have been a match to where it should have ended as quickly as it started. So there was one specific camera shot where we get to see the androids fighting these two, you know, side by side. It was incredible. I will say that one moment to where we see them fighting, you know, two individual characters side by side as the camera is hovered above the ring, that was really cool. That was really, really cool. But I felt as if in terms of power levels, in terms of scaling wise, I mean, this was just really weird to see how Rosie was able to, you know, just survive this. But we see how, interestingly enough, as Rebrand fires off this attack, Android 18 dodges, Android 17 dodges, and the attack actually manages to hit Rosie. So unintentionally, we see how Rebrand knocks out Rosie, and because of this, we see how the androids regroup, and they use this beautiful chain combination to fully push Rosie out of the tournament. And because of this, because how upset she is, Rebrand powers down. She reverts back to her original state, and it's because of this we see how 18 is talking down to her and the fact that she's finished, and she uses this weird attack to where she puts her hand on the floor and this massive love flower pops up and it grabs Android 18, and then we see how Universe 2 are like waving. They wave like these, like, you know, pink wands, really tacky, and it's because of this that results in the power of love having to be so influential that Rebrand grows into this giant, mind you, she's back to, you know, her fat state, but it gets worse, folks. We see how she transforms into giant Rebrand, and she has wings and like this godly like aura behind her. It was, I think, the tackiest thing I've seen in the Tournament of Power, because a lot of us originally assumed that she was going to have a new transformation, and to an extent, I guess you can count this as somewhat of like a new form, because it's her giant form. She has a giant form. Fat Rebrand has a giant form, and she begins to sprout her wings. She looks down at 18, and just as she's about to punch Android 18, giant Rebrand warns her and rains down like this fiery attack of love. And what I found interesting about this was how 18 was reminiscing back with Krillin in thinking about her family and thinking about everything she's been through with Krillin, because obviously this is the fate of not just your universe but your family. And 18, I will say, she broke out of this like trap. She broke out of this vine whip that she had, under Rebrand's influence. And it was interesting because we see how she pretty much Saitama'd Rebrand's punch. Like, Rebrand's coming down with her giant punch. 18 counters by punching her right back. And it's because of 18 that she is able to hit Rebrand so hard to where, not only does she, start running up her arm, but, it felt like some Attack on Titan, like, esque scene where 18 is running alongside her arm and Rebrand's unleashing attacks, and 17, I'm telling you right now, 17 did everything he could to protect his sister, because despite what Rebrand was doing, 18 was there for the save. And I will say the episode wasn't really that good, I think, until the final act where we see how 18 is going in for the kill as Rebrand is attempting to, ring her out and using the power of love. So the androids in the end do prevail against Winnie the Pooh, or at least this giant version of Rebrand, by hitting her right through her skull. I mean, she didn't kill her, but eventually, ladies and gentlemen, Rebrand has been eliminated from the Tournament of Power thanks to Android 18. I will say that the giant form thing was really stupid, but seeing the way it closed off, I think, was spectacular. So we do have a few of the Universe 3 fighters remaining and the Universe 2 fighters remaining, in the sense to where they're focusing more on Goku, and the Universe 3 fighters were put down. We saw one of them get put down by 17, but ultimately enough, Android 18 finally wrung out the one character that I feel like we all universally hated. But as an episode for the androids, it was good, but when it actually involved Goku and everyone else, it just seemed kind of like a bit of a waste, because again, it was mainly focused on the androids and getting the job done. So Rosie and Rebrand are gone from the Tournament of Power. But in the end, I would like to know what you guys have to say down in the comment section below. What are your overall thoughts on this episode? Did you guys enjoy this episode? Did you guys loathe this episode? What are your overall thoughts on seeing Rebrand fight Android 18 and seeing 17 fight Rosie and seeing Goku somehow in some way, shape, or form still be active in this tournament after suffering so much damage, and which we are going to talk about and kind of rant on in the breakdown review. So I highly encourage you guys to tune back in for that. What are your overall thoughts on seeing Vegeta in this episode? Post your comments down below, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like down below. If of course you guys are new to the channel, then don't forget to smash that subscribe button, as we do have lots of discussions, lots of videos planned, not only for this week, but for the month of December going into the new year. So we are going to recap mostly the Tournament of Power, the pros and the cons, and loads of other things in between. So if you guys are new, highly consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you guys had a wonderful day. In case you guys haven't already noticed, I am feeling a bit sick. I just came back from performing at WrestleCade. In case you guys haven't already noticed, I am a pro wrestler. Follow me at Twitter for more information on that. So hopefully enough, as the days carry on by, I'm going to get better. But regardless of that nature, guys, we are going to get more content on this channel. So I look forward to talking to you guys in the comments. Tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing you all down below. Take it easy, guys. Peace.